What's going on, Paisanos? V here. Come at you guys, well, with another market watch today. You know, in the next coming weeks, we're going to see a lot of players focus their buys on certain things. And I think right now in the game, there's certain things that are worth buying and certain things that I think just are not worth buying, that they're overpriced and they're not worth it. And in this video, we're going to be talking about that. But before I begin, guys, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe button, and comment down below. Let me know what cards you think that players are going to be starting to gravitate towards, cards that are potentially going to see more play, and why. And I think that there are a lot of cards in this game that everyone's slowly buying. Like, I have my binder. This is not a trade binder, by the way, but it's a binder where I put cards that I think that can see play. And I'll tell you right now, there are a lot of cards in that binder because of the amount of potential both Ryziel and Maz offer. With that said, also, there's a lot of decks besides those two decks that players are focusing on playing and cards they're going to need. And this video, we're going to be talking about those cards due to the fact that those cards have a massive impact against Ryziel and Maz. It lets you play, for starters, as well as potentially lets you win against those decks. Right off the gate, let's go on Neptibus, Salanti, and Prince, though, because Water is a deck that I think is going to be really good for about 2.5 weeks. After that, Neptibus price of the Core Century Bonanza, the QCR, is going to take in value. The current value of this card is roughly around $15, $16. It's going to fall back down in value once we get Ryziel and Malice. But Water is going to get new support. Now, we don't know if that new support is going to be good. We have zero idea if it's going to be good enough to have Water see any kind of meta play. But it's going to get new support. It looks pretty promising. But once again, will it be enough to beat Ryziel and Malice? We have zero idea. With that said, though, do not buy this card right now. Once Malice and Ryziel come out, the value of this card is going to tank, and then buy it. Trust me, I'm a big fan of Water, but buying this right now is a horrible idea. You know, there's a weird thing going on with Bomba Shark. The secret version of Bomba Shark, by the way, is roughly around, well, Unlimited's are about 20, first editions are about $23. And the crazy thing about Bomba Shark in general is the fact that, like, the secret version is worth money, the QCR is like $2, and then you flip it to Totally Awesome, and the secret Totally Awesome is dirt cheap, and the QCR is worth like way more, maybe because the QCR is newer. I just want you guys to understand that if you are looking to play Water, I would recommend going and grabbing that secret Totally Awesome, and for Bomba Shark, once again, waiting because it's going to be going down in value. Mochari Perulia is a weird card right now because I don't think this card's going to see as much play with the release of Ryziel and Maz. It will still see play, but nowhere near as much as its value is saying it's going to. So the value of the card has recently spiked, as you can see over here. It was roughly around $50. The current value of this card is about $86 for this card. Now, if you turn around and you look at the QCR version of this card, which is right here, the QCR Perulia, it kind of did the same thing where it was roughly around, it says 140. I always sold it around 150. The value, it got bought out, it's $300 for this card. I don't think it's worth it, to be honest with you. I think it's only good for the next 3 weeks. And after that, I think Fualos is a much better version of a card. With that said, Fualos also is expensive. It's $125 for the secret rare. And if you want to grab the QCR version of this card, it went down a little bit. It used to be $400. It's about $375. So this is definitely going to be the needed hand trap of the meta. Unfortunately, it is the most expensive hand trap of the meta. Kind of sucks. And it's not changing with next month. Artifact Lantern is another phenomenal hand trap that I feel like a lot of players are overlooking, and they shouldn't. Artifact Lantern, this is the highest rarity version, QCR, out of the original 20th anniversary rarity collection. This card is roughly around $28. Now, with that said, it does have a bunch of other printings, a bunch of other rarities, so no big deal. But if you want the highest rarity, there it is right there. This card's phenomenal against Malice at stopping their turn. And once again, you need to have the cards that do that. With the release of Malice and with the release of Ryziel, you need cards to shut their turn down. And you need to get those cards today before you figure out that, and everyone in the game figures out, that these cards are that important because the price is rising. I mean, look at the price right now. It used to be $15, and now it's $28. And that is in the past, what? Past month and a half? This card is only going to continue to rise in value once everyone realizes they need it. Just like my next card, Ultimate Slayer. This card, QCR, once again, is another card that everyone needs to grab. It's about $20 right now for the QCR version. Its value used to be $6. But this card is a game changer against Ryziel and Malice. Not only that, though, Ultimate Slayer Starlight Rare has also increased in value. It used to be $41. It's now more than doubled currently being roughly around $88 a copy. Now, here's the crazy thing. How many do you buy? How many do you play? I mean, think about it. That's the truth. How many do you buy? How many do you play? Because we have thrust. So thrust allows us not to play 3 ofs, which is great. But once again, how many do you buy? How many do you play? In the OCG, they run 1 thrust and 2s of everything. Here in a TCG, we do 2 thrusts and 1s of everything. You see that? So once again, it's a bit of a weird kind of situation. Then again, in the OCG, it's 1 thrust with a bunch of spell 2-ofs. In the TCG, it's 2 thrusts with a bunch of trap 1-ofs. See how that works? So I do think that here in the TCG, we might see a change where we might start seeing more 2-ofs. With that said, I think Ultimate Slayer will be a better 2-of. Is that a good argument for Ultimate Slayer being, like, you just need to get 2 with this card. But I just want to, yeah, 2 with a thrust, you're good to go. Moving forward, though, one of the cards you might need is Enigmaster Pack Bit. Hopefully I said that name right. If this card single summon or sent to the graveyard, you can target a monster in your graveyard or one face-up monster your opponent controls. Discard 1 card, and if you do, place that monster's own spell and trap zone as a continuous trap. This is one of the cards they're running. The value has increased. It's about $5. It used to be a $2 card. I remember it being less than that even. The QCR version also is relatively inexpensive right now, but it's slowly about to increase. Currently being roughly around 20. It says right there, it's about 25 over here. $25 for this card, and I think this might start increasing in value. Keep an eye on this card. I grabbed the QCR. I'm just going to throw it out there for you guys. I think I might see you play, and if it does, well, you want to grab the nice version. You want to do it fast before anyone realizes it. So in the OCG, I think they're realizing that Ultimate Slayer just kind of smacks Ryzeal. Unless you make a Ryzeal board which is weaker, but more defensive against Ultimate Slayer. But once again, you're making a weaker board for a card your opponent may or may not have. With that said, though, I think Ryzeal plays an OCG. I figured out, wait a minute, if I go Ryzeal and I combine Ryzeal with Voiceless, I'm in a good spot. Now, what do you buy here? And why? Well, the answer is simple. You buy low. It depends which version you want. They have the QCR, they have the Ultimate Rare. Ultimate Rare Low recently coming out of OTS Tournament Pack 6. It's currently roughly around $23. The Secret version of Low is, I believe, $15. $15 for the original Secret Rare. And then they have the QCR version of Low. QCR version of Low is about $55. I do think this will go up, by the way. And I think the reason why this will go up because Voices is really good at Voices, and as well as Ryzeal is really good at playing around your opponent's Ultimate Slayer answer. Another cool thing as well is you can make Soravis, which by the way is $5 for a QCR, super undervalued. This is also another great card as well. So you got another great card as well. You got a card that everyone's starting to play in the OCG. You got an archetype everyone's starting to play with Ryzeal, and right now, nobody's looking at it right now. The reason why I'm so focused on you picking up Low, by the way, is because the rest of the Voices is dirt cheap. It's really easy to buy. But Low's the only one that's kind of valued right now. And more than likely, if we see Voices Ryzeal see play, this will be the one that will move up in value before the rest of the cards. By the way, you want to keep an eye on Dominus Purge. Another card that is an option for that deck. It's roughly around $55, $57, $58, then starts hitting $60. That is for the QCR. If you want Dominus Purge Secret Rare, that'll be roughly around $15. So once again, there's that as well. So no big deal, but just want to give you a heads up. Then we have Bonfire. I'm shocked this card's actually low in value. It's roughly around $23 to $24 with shipping for this card. Then again, Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, Konami's just basically telling Yu-Gi-Oh! Players to buy this card for the 3rd time. Came out as an Ultra Rare, yeah, and a CR, but we all knew when Konami said CR, they meant to say QCR's on the way. So realistically, Ultra Rare. And then Konami made this as a Prismatic Secret Rare, what, like a month ago? And now this card's a QCR. So Konami's like, okay, here's the highest rarity finally. Do you want to buy it for a 3rd time? It's up to you guys. Bonfire QCR, obviously, is going to see play now. Here's the thing. If Ryzeal and Mouse are equal, this will stay low. If it's like the OGG, where Ryzeal's tier 0, Mouse is tier 1, this obviously will rise in value. So that's what you're gambling on when you look to buy this card. Look at the value of this card, once again, it's $23. After that, it starts hitting $24. Is it worth buying right now? Myself, personally speaking, I don't think it is worth buying, because I think Ryzeal and Mouse are going to be equal in the TCG. In fact, I think Mouse might even be a little bit better because you can play as like the waifu tax. You can play as also like the combos Mouse can do. They like the variety, where Raizo is boom, 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 Dreadnator, pop, 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 and then I kill you in the following turn. You know, that does get boring real fast, real quick, and maybe you players aren't excited about that. With that said, they're both going to be really good decks, though. Another card that players want to play, even though I don't think it's good, is Chaos Hunter. Some people are starting to tech this in. Chaos Hunter QCR versions are roughly around $9. I don't think it's worth it, to be honest with you. I think Artifact Lance is better. Like, if you Chaos Hunter, you're basically telling your opponent, hey, kill this, and then you can play the game. When you activate Artifact Lance here, you look at your opponent and you go, hey, you ain't doing shit this turn. Like, it's a night and day difference. Even though I do like Chaos Hunter, I think it's a great card. I don't think it fits right in the current meta in the game right now. Let me know what you guys think about this card, though. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? I just don't think it is, but you let me know. Another card everyone's going to want to pick up if you don't have it already, which you should, is Triple Tactics Talent. Now, the lowest variation of this card is about $6 for a super rare, but this card is a needed card. And the reason why I said it is because obviously taking your opponent's monster is never a bad thing. Or look at your opponent's hand, or any of the, I mean, the card is really good, and it's still going to see play with the release of these two archetypes next month. So keep an eye on it, because you might need it. And if you want to grab the Starlight Rare, it's a cool $170. So by the way, after that one, so it's 180, then 200, then 217, and then the page ends with it being roughly around $225. That's for Starlight Rare. All right. So I want to talk about Salesman. It has two printings, as a super rare and as a secret rare. The secret version of Salesman is a card I think is really good. Now, Salesman, when it first came out, I hate this card. I said this card's crap. Prohibition's better. With that said, though, I think Salesman gets really good starting next month. Shutting down your opponent's deck via just saying a card for the turn, that's huge. It's huge when we're going to see a lot of players focusing all their combos to one big card. And that's what we're going to see next month. A lot of players comboing off to make one card that's going to shut your opponent down so they can kill you on the following turn. That's the idea and goal of Yu-Gi-Oh! With the release of Risers of Malice. Salesman straight up says, declare one card name for cost, by the way. For the rest of this turn, your opponent cannot activate cards or the effects of cards with the original name as that declared card. The same restriction applies to you for the rest of the duel, but once again, if you're playing Mass and you say Dreadnator, oh no, you can't use your Dreadnator. It doesn't matter. But what's more important is this card shuts one of your opponent's cards down, and then you just basically get to like play for free. I think this is a phenomenal card. I think it's highly undervalued right now. It has only 2 printings, and it won't be long before Konami makes a QCR version of this one, because everything has been made into a QCR, which devalues QCRs, by the way, but that's a whole nother video. Another hand trap is Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Now, this is the ultimate rare. This is the highest valued version of the card right now. It's roughly around $85 for Ghost Ogre. This card, I think, is not, well, this card's not seeing as much play right now, but next month, this card will. It's a determining factor in a lot of combos, and if you use this card and hit a weak spot, your opponent's basically going to have to pass turn. Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbit is going to be a very good card soon, and I just want to give you guys a heads up. If you don't have Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbit and you want to grab it, it has a bunch of other printings, so you don't have to worry about the ultimate rare. That is the highest rarity version, and more than likely, if Ghost Ogre was the pumping price, that would be the one that would rise the fastest. But it has a bunch of other printings. Alternate art looks sick as hell, by the way. So you got a lot of options here with Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, so keep that in mind. But I do think this is going to be the card that a lot of players are going to gravitate towards. Once again, guys, hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below. It's your boy V, and you guys also have a great day.